Hi everybody, it's Kathy here, and today is a special day. We're joining all the girls together on this Goal Getter Girls Creative Milestone Hop set out by Shannon Keith and Tara O'Rourke, both creating KALs in Tennessee and the Paper Snob. And we're telling the story of how we are YouTubers and bringing our hobby to life for you here on our channels. So it's a special hop because we're all aiming for our next milestone, and me in particular, I'd love to reach the 500, something that's hard to do for an Aussie girl, and I would appreciate anybody joining on to my station, and hopefully I've done something today that inspires you to subscribe. Make sure you check out everybody else in the playlist. They're all going for milestones, 500s, 1000s, 2000s, 3000s. Everybody has a goal and everybody needs the support. So to start this off, I thought I would go right back from where I started, and I'm actually going to do photos that I did on my very first scrapbook page ever. Now, it is of my middle daughter, and I had one photo that was a 5x7 all those years ago because I loved this photo of her in this dress. And so I thought how fitting for this hop that I would go and redo these photos, and I found them recently, so I thought perfect, this was the greatest opportunity to do them again and to showcase what makes me me. I started as Kathyloves2scrap many years ago when I first went out onto Scrapbook.com and started contributing to the gallery there. So if you go over to Scrapbook.com, you will see my gallery from years past, and you will see the evolution of my style. These days I consider myself an eclectic scrapbooker, meaning that I change my style to suit my layout. I also change my style to suit what I am looking at the time, and if I see something that I like, I want to have a go at. So today I'm doing a little bit of a mix of an old-fashioned style mixed with the new style. I'm going to create an old-fashioned file folder pocket, which we used to use all the time as an embellishment in the early 2000s. And so I'm going right back to the start, and this time I'm creating it in a more modern phase. And by doing that, I'm fussy cutting, which we never did when we first started. I remember my first layout, this photo, as I said, and it was a navy blue background with some red and white plain cardstock stripes down the centre. Not even fishtailed, not even a banner, just the stripes of cardboard in. The photo double matted and a title, and that was what was the gist of my scrapping way back when. So today, with my layouts, I'm doing the fussy cutting, as you can see here, where I'm using the papers and the embellishments to come from the papers themselves. So this is an advancement that was a big step forward when I first started moving into this type of scrapping, or I would have said around 2010, when we started to branch out and get a little bit more creative with what we were doing. Because when we first started, when I first started in 2004, Creative Memories was the go, and it was very much block oriented, very much squares and rectangles and very few layers and very clean and simple layouts. Now, as I said, I love to experiment with all different styles. I like to use mixed media. I like to challenge myself in the creative arena. And I know that that's not for everybody, but that's the frustrated art teacher in me coming out. Ever since I moved out of the classroom and into the office environment, scrapbooking has become my creative outlet. So I do enjoy the challenge of getting very creative. And so that's what my channel is about. It's how I challenge myself regularly to create works of art and tell the history, because I do believe that that's what we are doing. We're telling history in the everyday moment, and this everyday moment will one day be really important to somebody in the future of what our lives were like in the day-to-day. So that's why I find it so important that we do this hobby and we share it. People worry about what will happen when they pass. You know, people in the past used to write diaries and journals and all of those sorts of things and capture memories that way. Those are historical documents now. So who knows, in the future, our scrapbooks and the things that we do for our families, they will be historical documents. They'll be records of what was for those in the future to see. And who knows, along the way, it's making people happy. Along the way, it's creating memories, and it's just another way of putting down what we do and what makes us happy. So as you can see, I'm fussy cutting out all of those little flowers as well because I want to use those in clusters. So I've now got ready to put down my layout, and my photos are 6x4, so they are large, and that's the old traditional way, and that's why I wanted for this layout as well. As you can see there, I'm creating my old-fashioned document envelope, pocket envelope that you used to find in stationery stores all the time. Used to be an integral part of your stationery when you were in an office. I know it was for me before I became a teacher and I was working in an office. So this is the pocket that I'm creating. I'll put the string on shortly. The buttons, I'll allow them to dry just a little so that they've got some grip when I go to add the document string. So I'm building up my clusters now. This is an advancement in scrapbooking where clusters are now a big feature in our layouts, where we layer them up and we put dimension and add shadow and so forth. That was a really huge change in scrapbooking, and I love that it is a part of everyday scrapbooking now. I love that we just cluster up things to make the work of art complement our photos and add interest for the viewer. They become great picture books, they become great storybooks, and this is a bit like an illustrated encyclopedia of your family. That's how I look at it, of things that have happened and the way history is recorded through art and photos. So some people get really into it and are very, very creative, and I don't ever claim to be an expert at it. I'm just a hobbyist. This is what I do. I share on YouTube because a few people asked me to make videos way back when, and I will put the link in so you can see my very first video and you can see how far I've come from there. That's a huge change in my style in videos as well. So as we do things, we evolve, and that's the beauty of this hobby that we have. Now I'm just putting down some stickers here with some quotes. This is my daughter, as I said, my middle daughter. She is my animal lover, my animal handler. She is always a little bit social reticent, and she lacks confidence, so it's about never giving up and believing in yourself and aiming for a goal always. So that's why I decided that these photos I would redo, and I am just loving how this is coming together. I'm just building up those clusters there with my paper punch leaves, and I am popping flowers there to give dimension, and that's allowing those clusters to have some height. I love that paperclip die cut that I have developed now, the bulldog one. I think it's just so effective on layouts. It looks so good, and it ties in nicely with that stationery feel, with that document wallet that I've created for my backing here. Now this is really unusual for me too. I am using a plain white background. Surprise, surprise people, I can do it. I was shocked that I would go with a plain white one for this one, but I thought it picked up the white beautifully from her dress, and I just love that dress. I have kept that dress for one day, maybe in the future a granddaughter will wear that dress because it is just a stunning dress. I loved it. My mum brought it back from overseas on one of her trips when Cody was little, and that was about one of the only times that she really rocked a dress. Cody's very much a tomboy and not a dress wearer, and I just love that she had white sandals with that lovely little summer dress there, and it's just come together so beautifully. I had to add in the lady beetles and the frogs because that's Cody all over with the animals. She always has been an animal whisperer, and that's just the perfect addition. Now to finish it off, I put in a messy border with my black pen. I've just drawn that in freehand, and that's the beauty of a messy border. I'm now contemplating, do I want to do a double one or some extra stitching, and I decide not to. I'm just leaving it a plain messy border. And to finish it off, I've got my Lumberjack Plaid ink here, and I'm going to add some water to it with my fan brush, and I'm just going to add a bit more to make it a bit more runny. And then I'm going to add those splatters to the background. Now, I am terribly hopeless at adding splatters. I just don't get it. I just can't get it to work for me easily. I know Mel, she does it brilliantly. I know MK, she just layers up beautifully. There are so many talented ladies that are playing along in this hop, and they have skills beyond measure, and I love learning from them. And I'm sure if you go through the playlist that is down below, you'll learn something from each and every single one of them. Plus, don't forget, if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe to us, but it does do a great thing for our channels. And you never know, pop back. We're always creating something new. We're always adding inspiration to our galleries, and you might just be inspired with something that someone does or reminds you of something you haven't done for a long time. And that's why I watch a lot of videos for, is to see what's happening with everybody else and how they are using the product. So I'm just added in 3 sets of 3 pops of colour just to draw around the layout, and that gives it that hint of the visual triangle, and it allows you to focus around those photos. And I just love how this has come together. So very, very different from my very first page ever, but this is what this is about, the story of how we became what we are. As I said, check out the full list of creators link below. Don't forget, if I've done something here that you like, give me a thumbs up. YouTube loves those thumbs up. Leave me a comment. I'll get back to you. And remember, subscription costs you nothing. Just hit that little subscribe button and the bell, and every time I drop a video, you'll know about it. Happy scrapping, everybody, until the next time, and here's my next video for you. I really do appreciate you stopping by today.